Hi everyone and welcome back to the GCSE math series. Today we're going to be looking at the quadratic formula, but provide an overview of solving quadratics. So, firstly I'm going to teach you guys how to solve quadratics by factorizing. So, if you remember from our previous video on factorizing, the way we attempt these types of questions is to first find two numbers which multiply to give us our last term, so in this case 6, and add to equal our middle term, and in this case 5. The first thing we do is culminate our factor pairs of 6. So we have 6 and 1, 3 and 2. For positive 6, these are the two factor pairs. We then look at these two factor pairs individually and see when I add them together, when I add the two numbers in the pair together, which pair gives me my middle term 5. Obviously, it's going to be our 3 and 2. So we can break down our 5x into plus 3x and plus 2x, leaving the 6 and x squared on either side of the quadratic. We then draw our imaginary line like this and take out the highest common factor on the left hand side. The highest common factor is going to be x, leaving our bracket to be x plus 3. These are basic rules of factorizing. On this side, we move our x plus 3 onto here, and we notice that to get from x plus 3 to our expression above, 2x plus 6, we need to put a 2 outside. Because 2 times x gives us our 2x, and 2 times 3 gives us our plus 6 there. So our outside bracket is x plus 2, and our inside bracket is x plus 3. Okay, we then equate these to 0. We take each bracket individually and first assign x plus 2 to be equal to 0. We then want to make x the subject of the formula, and remember the definition of subject is when it's alone on one side of the equation. The way we do this, we look at the operation applied to our x, and we see that it's being plus to 2. To reverse this, to get x by itself, we minus 2 from both sides, and hence we get x is equal to minus 2. Looking at the second bracket, we see that the operation applied to our x is plus 3. So to reverse this, we minus 3 from both sides to get x is equal to minus 3. Hence the two solutions to our quadratic are x equals to minus 2 and x equals to minus 3. We will always get two solutions to our quadratics. Okay, so it was x equals minus 2 and x equals minus 3. Now, looking at number 2, we have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Remember, when the coefficient of our x squared is greater than 1, we then times it by our c to find out what we need to multiply to. So in this case, we're going to do our coefficient of x, which means the number in front of x, times by our last term, which multiplies to give us 6, and adds to equal our middle term 7. Again, we write our factors of 6 and get 6 and 1 and 3 and 2. And in this case, when we add 6 and 1 together, we're going to get our middle term 7. So keep 2x squared, break down our plus 7x to plus 6x plus x, and leave our 3 like there. Draw our line and take out the highest common factor on the left, which in this case is going to be 2x. Then, looking inside the bracket, we're going to have to leave x plus 3 there, moving x plus 3 onto the other side. To get from x plus 3 to the expression above, we're just going to have to times by 1, and we're going to get the outside bracket to be 2x plus 1, and the inside bracket to be x plus 3. Then, equating these individually to 0, we'll start with x plus 3. Once again, we're going to have to minus 3 from both sides to get x is equal to minus 3. With 2x plus 1, we see that our x is being first times by 2 and then added to 1. To get rid of the 1 first is the way we go. So 2x is equal to minus 1, leaving x equal to minus a half because we divide through by 2 on both sides of our equation. So the solution here is x equals minus 3 and x equals to minus a half. Looking at the next question, question number 3, we know from our factorizing topic that this is a difference of two squares situation. And remember, we know this because it goes straight from a quadratic term to a number term, meaning the middle term, just our x quantity, not our x squared or our number, the one in the middle, our x term as shown here and here, is missing. Hence, it's a difference of two squares, which means it follows the form x minus x plus a, x minus a, where a is the square root of our c term, and in this case, our c term is this. So when I refer to my c term, it's always the last term in the quadratic. So the quadratic general formula for a quadratic is such. So the middle term is referred to as b, first term is referred to as a, hence the last term is c. So in this case, this expression factorizes to x plus 3, x minus 3. Then equating these to 0, we see that x minus 3 is equal to 0, plus 3 on both sides, and we get x is equal to 3. X plus 3 equals to 0, minus 3 on both terms, on both sides gets us x is equal to minus 3. Okay, moving on to the quadratic formula. So, the quadratic formula solves any equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So, I did show you guys this before. The first thing we're going to have to do is look at the formula. The formula states that minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a is a solution to x. Okay, first things first, we have to label a, b, c. Okay, now I understand that this can be very difficult to look at and it seems like the most complex topic in the world. Genuinely, the more you practice this, the easier it's going to get, and it's going to get to a point where you're going to think quadratic formula is the easiest formula in the world. So just bear with me and you'll get through it. So it starts off by saying minus b. In this case, our b is positive 3, so minus b is going to be minus 3. Plus or minus, you'll see what that means afterwards. We're going to do b squared, which in this case is going to be 3 squared, minus 4 times by our a, which is 2, and times by our c, which is going to be minus 5, as you can see from the equation, over 2a. So now what we do is we put this into our calculator, so minus 3 plus, okay, let me tell you what plus or minus means now. So this basically means minus 3 plus square root, not square root 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times minus 5 over 2a, and minus 3 minus the rest of it, right? So we get one solution from plussing and one solution from minusing. Hence, we'll end up with two solutions, as a quadratic should always. So 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times by minus 5 divided by 2 times by 1. And you get the first solution to be x is equal to 2. Now, going back on your calculator and changing that that plus sign to a subtraction sign, we get x is equal to minus 5. Okay, so now looking at our question 2, we label our 1, the coefficient of x squared, as a. Our minus 4 is going to be our b. Our minus 1 is going to be our c. Now, putting this in, our minus 4 is our b, so our minus b is positive 4. If I was to draw this out for you guys, it would be minus, and b is our minus 4. So when we do this, the minus and the minus will give us a plus and leave us with 4 like that. We have 4 plus or minus, minus 4 squared minus 4 times by 1 times by minus 1, all over 2 times by 1. This gives us, when we put in the calculator, two answers of x equals to 2 plus root 5 and x equals 2 minus root 5. Now, looking at question number 3, we have that 3 is our A, 6 is our B, and 2 is our C. If we were to write this out in the terms of quadratic formula, we would get minus 6 plus or minus 6 squared minus 4 times by 3 times by 2, all over 2 times by 3. Now, when we put this into our calculator, we get two answers of x equals 2 minus 3 plus root 3 over 3 and minus 3 minus root 3 over 3, which is approximately about negative 0.422 and negative 1.57. Okay, so that's going to conclude today's video on solving quadratics with emphasis on the quadratic formula. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned. I hope you've mastered this topic now, and catch you guys in the next video.